Hello, I'm Paul Huggins, and I want to thank you for coming to AuthenticCounselor.com. And today I was asked a question kind of to describe what is therapy about and how we go about doing this. And so first, after I do my consultation with someone, we do that on the phone and we talk and see if this is some mutual interest. And then we can have our first session. So what is the first session like? And I'm a big believer in therapeutic fit. So my first session is what I call a getting to know each other session. I am an authentic counselor. I commit myself to transparency. So I don't believe that anybody is a blank slate. I know that when we meet, you'll be evaluating me, I'll be evaluating you. We'll kind of look and see, where is this person? How can we work together? Is this helpful? I think that's a very important question to ask at the beginning of a therapeutic process, because this is a relationship and it could go on for some time. And we want to make sure that we have the right fit, that I'm the kind of person that you would like to work with, and vice versa. So that's what we do in the first session. I allow you certainly to ask a question. I might be curious as to what the nature, why you would want to know certain things, but mostly I'm an open book. And I'm okay with that. One of the things that I believe in the idea of therapy is to look at the process of myself coming to you and meeting you where you are. You may be in depression, you may be into anxiety, you may be having questions about your relationships, or your primary relationship. You may have some questions about career, school, how do I make practical choices in my life? And so I want to explain to you a little bit about the way I work. I essentially say that overall I perceive myself as a perhaps Rogerian or client-centered therapist. In other words, my approach isn't going to be me telling you who you're supposed to be, but I will help you address the question about whether who you are fits to who you want to be. And the word we use for this is called congruence. So does your life make sense in the way that you would like it to? So often I talk about a thing called a therapeutic container, and I have here a bowl, and I kind of talk about the bowl as where we start. So if there is a bowl, and in the bowl is the experience of therapy, at the very top, we're going to talk about behaviors and thoughts. So actually, there's a term out there called cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, which I think is quite valuable, and it addresses simply our actions and our thoughts about our actions on a daily basis. And it is actually fairly basic and fairly concrete, but also very useful, because that's where we begin. Because then we work our way down into maybe deeper subjects about, all right, so how am I relating to the people around me? And is that reflecting of my values? Is it useful? Is the way that I act, what sort of responses am I getting from people? And maybe we go a little bit deeper and talk about like how we grew up. What were we told? Are we as a person, as a adult person operating with a set of instructions that we got when we were 6 years old? And maybe, and that's actually true, I believe, for many people. And I don't believe that we rewrite any of that, but maybe we adapt it and make it work. And one of my goals would be to make that work in a better way. So we can go a little further down the row, down the bowl, and I really believe by the time we get to the bottom that we're asking questions of maybe a spiritual nature. Spiritual in that, how do you believe that the universe is structured in terms of, do you believe in a God or a higher power, and how does that make itself present in your life? And if you do or you do not, ultimately we have to ask ourselves questions about our purpose. So what is your overall purpose in being here, and what is the meaning of your life for you? And I think for so many people, We live in a world that is maybe less, a little more absent from meaning than we would like. In therapy, I like to have some general goals. I kind of measure those general goals into happiness and insight. I think happiness and having fun in therapy is a very important thing to do. Recently, I was talking about it to a friend about a quote, which is that only that which is valid can stand in the face of laughter. So I use a lot of humor in therapy. I've often been told that when people can hear from the outside of my sessions that we're laughing and they want to know what's going on there. I believe that we can use humor to underscore what's important and wipe away the stuff that is not important to that which is essential. And that's where we can have the greatest insights. In that, I also believe that that leads us to effective living. Am I doing what I want to do in my life? Will I be able to say, this is the right thing? Sometimes I ask people to evaluate themselves in their current situation in life to the person that they were when they were 9, 10, or 11. I say, think of yourself as a child. Could you present yourself as an adult today with pride to that child? Because if we can't do that, then we have to ask ourselves, well, maybe we should live in a way that we can be proud of ourselves to a more authentic version of ourselves. And I think that's a good way about going to do it. I have been asked, why does someone come see a therapist, or why they would come see me, and I would like simply to say that I have about 25 years of experience. I'm very knowledgeable. I've seen most disorders and diagnoses. Not that I'm a big one to diagnose. I'm a professor. I teach psychology as well as practice it in my profession. And there are a lot of things that I think that I bring to the table that can be very useful. So it would be wonderful if you wanted to meet with me. You can use the scheduler at the bottom of the page, and I will spend some time with you. We can have a 15-minute phone conversation free of charge, just simply to see if there's a fit. And I look forward to meeting you. So I'm Paula Pugins, and I appreciate you.